Hi. First of all, thank you so much for joining my podcast today. I know you have a lot of options out there. My name is Dr. Marc Liechtung. I'm a dentist from New York, have over 30 years experience, and again, thank you. The reason I'm doing this podcast today is because the last year and a half, with the influx of a lot of podcasts, I spent a lot of time listening, and I've been very disappointed about the information that's being portrayed, conveyed out there. I find that some of the podcasts, most of the podcasts, are bait and switches in the sense that there is something being sold. I am not selling anything. I want to convey my knowledge of a dentist from New York who's built and sold many practices, had a high-end practice, had groups and acquired over 25 practices alone. And with the group, I've acquired even more. I want to be your guide. That's right. I want to guide you into a fantastic exit. The difference today of understanding what goes on in a practice is the difference between selling your practice for 80%, 70% of gross value and a multiple of your profit known as EBITDA. We're going to get into all of this. It's going to be an amazing podcast for you to learn. I want to just convey what I've learned and guide you through it. But I couldn't do it without a dear friend of mine, somebody I've known for 15 years. I think he's tremendous in the profession and been a gift to all of us. His name is Rolando Mia. He's from Xyrus Communications, better known as Isolite. Some people know that. And without further ado, Ro, how are you? How's LA? And I miss you, brother.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. I am so excited to see this. I love that you've created a podcast, a series that is going to basically share people with actual things, actionable things they can do. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you're going to say. And this is fantastic. This is awesome. Appreciate it, man.
I got to tell you, before we get into it, Ro, just a little bit about this. Looking at it and really working on this podcast, not working on the podcast, working on my career and hearing what's out there and the messages that are being brought in, I really do feel that upon meeting so many dentists when I either acquire or interview, there's a real disconnect between understanding the workings of a practice, the clinical excellence that's needed. And we're going to get into all of that. I just want to be the messenger, and it's up to you, docs, to accept those, as Rose said, those call to actions, those real important go-tos, and we can make this a great situation for everybody.
Yeah, I love it. So the problem you're going to solve for everybody is what exactly?
The problem I'm going to solve is really understanding someone's practice. When you understand the practice, you're going to be able to have a profitable work-life balance and really set yourself up for an amazing, fantastic exit. That's not me doing it. That's you doing it. That's you, the doctors, doing it. That's you understanding it starts with clinical excellence, understanding your numbers. And we're going to get into all of that so you can solve each problem you have in your practice. The major problem, end with a fantastic exit.
Cool. Wow, I'm excited. Let's do it.
Absolutely. So, Ro, I've been working on something like, as you and I know from Snap-on, as a creator of that, I've been working on another plan that helps dentists blueprint this, have a guide that understands what is going on in their practice and what they have to concentrate on. From the years that I've been doing this, practicing and running practices, this is the lessons that I'm learning, wrote down, really are just conveying that to our listeners. The listeners are very smart. They're going to take this, and some of them will apply everything, some will apply nothing, but I hope they can listen and hear just another approach that has been very profitable, and that's the reason we're here today. Help our listeners. Without further ado, Ro, I really want to introduce you to my plan. And if we could show this, what I call the dental Hamsa. It's a hand, and there it is. It's a hand. And I've been thinking about this for many years. And if we could look at this particular picture and understand how much information is in this hand. The hand consists of The most important procedures that I feel are in dentistry that we need to do in our practices to sustain continuous production, profitability, and most important, doctor satisfaction. We really are going to work on both doctor satisfaction, which conveys into high production and their more profitability. By understanding those procedures, you become an excellent treatment planner. And I want everyone to understand, we're going to get into how the sessions are broken down, but we really can't be a comprehensive treatment planner without understanding certain parameters of the oral cavity. We all know that. We learned it in dental school. I'm just going to show you what you learned in dental school is so important. But also, we want to understand what goes on in our practices from a money standpoint. Having financial understanding, that is incredibly important as today's world has gotten a lot tougher. Insurance has gotten a lot more expensive. Rents are out of hand. Salaries are sky high. We need to understand when we can do certain things and when we can't. When you put that together, believe it, clinical excellence, financial understanding will bring a doctor of EBITDA. We've heard about it. We hear that word. We're going to get into it. But I'm a firm believer in the doctor of EBITDA can happen for all of us. And with that comes practice efficiency, financial sustainability. I'm looking for great work-life balance. We don't want those 65, 70-year-old dentists to come out of dentistry looking like they've been working like a rag, like a beast for their entire career. Work-life balance, as you get more profitable, will become more sustainable. We'll get into it. And lastly, positioning ourselves, us the clinicians, for awesome exits. We want exits that are going to be second to none, because dentistry has been proven to be incredibly resilient. Look at the floods, the pandemics, the everything that has gone on, the terrorist acts that have gone on in cities all over the country, and yet dentistry is still being paid at multiples of our operational profit. And look at that as EBITDA as we go on. Really, we're going to get into this hand. We're going to dissect it. We're going to understand procedures, why they work in the practice, why our team has to be involved, why we want to give our team players everything they want as long as we can sustain it. And that's the key. I'm so excited about this, Ro. I think there's so much to embark on. And I want to tell you, I have nothing to sell. I'm not selling posters. I'm not selling logos. I am just guiding knowledge. I'm pumped. I'm really pumped.
So wait,
really pumped because
I love it.
Get on with this. I'm just thinking about the sessions that are coming, and I'm saying to myself, "Holy cow! It's like reading an unbelievable novel." You're waiting.
So wait. So how many sessions are you going to have,
Right.
and then what are you going to cover in each of those sessions?
You know, that's why Rolando Mia is here, everybody. Rolando keeps me on the track because I can derail with knowledge. I can get off and talk about something. We have 7 sessions, 6 after today. We're going to get into sessions number 1. We're going to discuss why those procedures are so important. Those particular ones, right? Invisalign, root canal therapy, crown and bridging cosmetics, surgical extractions and bone grafts, and implant placement. You know, today we're going to discuss about the super general dentist in our next episode. Why do I believe, coming from a school that conveyed that in the perio-prost world, but today general dentists should have the ability to do all 5 of those and do it really, really well, as efficient as some specialists. Once we attain that, we're going to discuss how that ties into the treatment planning.
And that's the next episode, right?
That's the 3rd episode after today. So it's one will talk about the hand. The second will talk about comprehensive treatment plan. And that is bringing everything together. Understanding, I call it fixed versus removable. We're going to get into that. The 4th episode, which is today 1, 2, 3, the 4th episode is going to get into the financial understanding. It's going to understand the numbers of our practice. Why is it important to keep our numbers from an I walk into some practices and I ask the doctor how many new patients you get on $8,000 of marketing, and they don't know. We're going to get into the reasons we need to know. Okay, I'm not going to tease anything. I'm going to say just we are going to understand why marketing and supplies and lab and payroll are all things we must have our hands on. The 5th episode is going to discuss the percentages, action plans that people could take and put their supplies, labs, payroll, associates, everything in certain parameters that the world is looking for as we go to sell. The 6th episode is going to be preparing the practice for sale. That doesn't mean calling a broker or cleaning the stockroom. That means understanding everything I've discussed and where that number of EBITDA needs to be, and we want it to be, to get the maximum. Is it a solo practice, a practice with associates? We're going to get into that in episode 6. We're going to talk about that from a standpoint of preparing ourselves for that wonderful day, that exit.
That is awesome. So share with us, what are the stakes? If people don't do this, what ends up happening? What have you seen?
Yeah, so I could tell you that we're going to do a comparison of practices. If people aren't astute of their own backyard, this is our basement. It's our living room. It's our biggest asset we have. And yet if we don't take care of the termites, if we don't take care of the flood, meaning if we're paying a rent that is just outlandish and we want to now renovate, we need to look at things. If the people don't do it, they're going to be paid a percentage of their gross revenue. You have a $2 million practice, you'll be paid $1.5 million. But if you do watch it, if you do understand it, if you act on it, that $2 million practice could be getting $3.5 million. The difference of a profitable practice and a practice that the doctor is making money, but the practice is not profitable. Big difference. Big difference. Hear that. Again, the practice is profitable versus a practice that the doctor makes money, but the practice itself, there's no fat. There's nothing to pull out. Let's go with the groups. They don't like that, Ro. They want profit. They want things they can pull out, count on year after year after year, and then grow it. Now, some practices come in and they have nothing to grow. They're perfect. They say, groups don't want me. No, groups want you because the scalability of it, we're going to get into, is the economy of scale on certain things just drives the EBITDA up. But this is
it's
way beyond.
Yeah, it's not really, just groups.
So
it's
much.
It's also somebody else who may be looking to acquire, or you're trying to sell your practice too. So groups is a big piece, but it's also other people who are looking, that you're looking to transition your practice to, correct?
I want to say this, that the idea is that groups are a fortunate situation for dentists. They're out there. They're not the only thing that's out there, to your point, but they are there. They are lurking, and some of them are fantastic. Today dentists are recognized as business leaders, not just doctors. Years ago, groups wouldn't value us. We're going to get into that in the 6th and 7th episode. We're going to talk about how we are portrayed these days. And if you're a young doctor who thinks that I don't want to sell, think again. There's so much future for you to, if we believe consolidation and large groups are the future for 30 and 40 and early and 50-year-olds, this might be the time to make your mark in something. We'll get into that as we understand how we're going to get ready for a sale and what matters most to some of the groups out there. Just to interject, Ro, I love dentistry. I really do. People that know me know I love dentistry. I've been in it for a long time. You know that. I think my career has spanned in many things, but it is not about me. I do believe I am just a guy on a camel, bringing in water, bringing information, and I'd love to share it. Please.
So I'm curious. Why would you take so much time and effort to put this all together, to share with our viewers, to share with your viewers, to share with people, clinicians, doctors, owner dentists out there? What's kind of driving that?
It's a great question. And I think the thing that drives that is, when I, like I said at the beginning, I mean, obviously I've been very blessed. I've been in New York City building some great practices, having some amazing associates. I was lucky enough to invent a product that took me around the world with you, and you were there to watch me grow. I think the reason it is because there's a need. There's a need. And people like myself who have benefited from dentistry in the way we have, I truly believe in a profession like ours, there's a sense of give back, mentor. I think mentorship is the most important aspect of a young dentist. When they're looking for a job, take 2 points less, but mentor with an icon. I mean, there's so many examples I could give. And when doctors want to work with a certain associate is dying to work with that doctor. It's phenomenal. It's really awesome because they come together and they become a symbiotic unit. And who knows where it could go. But I know one thing, the associate will learn from day one. So it really is an issue to me of us doctors, us clinicians. You know, we've worked hard at getting our hands right. Our knowledge of the oral cavity, of the occlusion, of margins, of aesthetics, surgical component. Now it's time for us to find time to give back, whether it's teaching, lecturing, podcasting is easier for me because of the schedule I have is very busy, but I love this. And I want people to understand that's what it is. I mean, it really is just me having that desire after hearing so many questions. I can walk in today and a doctor will ask me to explain him EBITDA, right? I will ask, he will ask, or he or she will ask me, what is the right percentage of what? These are the things we want to get into because it is time that somebody, and in our profession, talks about the guts of it, the meat of it. Let's talk about what gets you to success, not what you need to buy to be successful. You could do it. You have it in your office. We have it. Let's go get it. Let's become great. And when we know we have a fantastic practice that people want, and it's worth this, man, every day is a beautiful day. Every day is great. So, you know, I do feel that we are going to embark on a journey together, us and the listeners, Ro. And I really hope, Rolando, you come with me and join me on this because your questions have always been spot on and poignant to the listener. And I mean that. And that's why, everybody, I really chose Rolando. And this is the beginning of a fantastic journey. Again, as I'm saying it again and again, because I believe it. And we, Rolando, if he accepts, and myself, are going to take you on this. And at the end of this journey of 7 sessions, you are going to learn and have the knowledge to at least go back to your practices and say, in the next 2 years, 3 years, 6 months, 12 months, 5 years, I am going to build a practice of my dreams and an exit to be just wowed by all, being wowed by all my friends and colleagues. This is dentistry beyond the numbers. We take the numbers and we absolutely dissect it to understand what it takes really to really be the dentist that is just so happy about his profession, and he or she is looking for that exit that just puts them in a different level that they've ever dreamed. This is about making dreams. And we're going to show you how it happens when we understand what happens beyond the numbers. Really, I couldn't do this alone, so I want to thank everyone that has helped me set this up. And I want to thank you, the listeners, for really embarking on this journey. And come along. It's going to be quick. Another 6 sessions are going to happen very quickly. And I think before you know it, but remember one thing, we're going to constantly hold up a banner, constantly hold up questions that you may have along the way. Please don't hesitate. Give me a call, give me an email. I want to help you. I am here to be that guide. Okay. I want to thank everyone for listening. We'll see you soon. All the best. Dentistry beyond the numbers.